Episode 7, we're doing sound today. Let's get into it.
So step 1, there's new assets for this episode. You can go get them on our website.
And we're just going to take this folder of audio and drop it into our game. Boom.
Perfect.
We should have footsteps and music.
Yep. So the first thing we'll do, let's introduce you to the audio player node, or audio stream player node. And there's 3 of them. One is for just general sound effects, music, whatever. That's actually what we're going to be adding for this scene, because we're going to start by adding in some music. And this music, by the way, is created by Celio Spring, another YouTuber who creates fake Zelda music for his friends. So definitely check out his channel if you're interested in this kind of stuff. But you have him to thank for these songs.
And they're really good. It's pretty amazing what he did.
So we'll right click on our node 3D node for our scene here.
Do we want to do it in the scene or do we want to do player?
Because we're going to do music first, we'll do it right here in this level.
Okay.
And add child node. And then we're going to search for audio stream player.
3D.
This case will be just a regular audio stream player because we're going to do background music. Background music's present no matter where you are in the scene.
Okay. So the white one.
If it was 3D, you'd have to go to where it is. And then as you get closer, you'd hear it. Just pick one of the music tracks. I think the temple theme's pretty cool. And you're
going to drag it to the stream.
Yeah, you got it.
Perfect.
And then we're going to set this one to autoplay. And it should loop by default. But if for some reason it doesn't, that is a setting if you double click on the MP3 track in your file system. Then right there you can say enable loop.
Perfect.
And then re-import. Awesome. Now there's one other thing I want to do, and I like to do this before I set up a whole bunch of sounds and audio stream players, and that is set up our audio buses. This is basically what our sound player nodes will route audio through, and they let us affect the volume of individual channels, all that stuff. So that's the audio tab at the bottom. And we're going to leave the master audio bus as is. There's always a master audio bus. I like to use this one to programmatically control what comes out of the game. So if you want to fade all your audio out for loading a different scene and then fade it all back in, we would do that with code on this bus. We'll add another bus though in the top right there. And we'll call this one the user master. And this is basically where we can have a user master volume slider. So if the user wants to turn all their game audio down, they can. Let's add 2 more buses. One will be music, and then one will be sound effects. And at the bottom, we want to make sure that we route both of these into our user bus, not the master bus. And once again, this will let us make audio sliders later on, so the user can say hey, I want to turn my music volume down or all the way off and just have the sound effects.
Cool.
And you can see all the different effects you can add to audio buses there too, which might be useful later. The last thing we need to do is on our audio stream player node in the inspector panel, at the very bottom, or towards the very bottom, we're going to see bus, and we want to set that to music since this is playing our music.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and try playing that. Let's see what that sounds like.
Sweet. I like it.
All right. Now, hearing the music over and over every time we play is going to get really old really fast. I speak from experience.
Yes.
So a pro tip here is we're going to go into our audio buses again. And then on the music bus there's a big M towards the top. We're just going to hit that, and that's going to mute it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll leave it on for a little bit longer, but that is where you can mute it.
So the next thing we have is a bunch of footstep sounds, and these might change slightly before this episode comes out because I'm not entirely 100% happy with them.
They're the most 8-bit sound ever. No one's going to notice.
Yeah. I was trying to be faithful to the sounds in Ocarina of Time.
Do we want to say that you can't hear the sounds or whatever? So if it does kind of suck, but basically for whatever reason, the screen share isn't giving Nick the pleasure of listening to the audio. So if he's not reacting, it's because he can't hear.
Yeah. All right. So to start adding sound effects to our guy, or our footstep sounds, we're going to click on our player scene. And we'll start by adding an audio stream player node 3D this time.
Bam.
And we want it 3D so that the sounds are in 3D space. And where it is right now at the bottom of your feet is perfect, since that's where the sound would pretty much come from.
Is that gonna change based on if your shield is on your left side making shield jingle sounds? Because I guess you have Christmas ornaments on it. Would that be over here? And that would actually affect it?
You could do that, yeah. So let's go ahead and just rename this one to Footsteps. And we're not going to assign it a stream just yet, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
All right, so let's set the bus on this one to our sound effect bus since we want footsteps to be considered a sound effect. We're going to need to find a way to trigger the footstep sound somehow. We want to do this from our animation timeline, and we want to do it for the run and walk sounds. So let's go ahead. Let's click on animation. Well, you're in the animation player. So if you switch to the freehand run animation, you'll notice there's not really any way we can add something to this animation.
It says like it's an imported scene. Like you can't do anything. It's outside custom animation.
What the little dialog box tells you about after the warning is exactly what we're going to do. And all that is you can close that. Click on our player mesh in our file system. So in the bottom left corner, we're going to go into meshes. There we go. And we're going to find the freehand run animation on the left. Set the loop mode to linear. And we do want to save it to a file. We do want to keep a custom track.
What is the tracks that are custom?
So basically the imported model or the imported animation is just going to have the skeleton track. So all the different tracks of the bones, but we want to add custom tracks for things like triggering audio player nodes or calling code, which is what we're going to be doing in this episode. So go ahead and select where we want to save it. We'll make a new folder called animations. Then inside this folder, we're going to make a player folder so we can put our custom player animations somewhere. And then we're going to call this freehand run, just like the animation was originally.
I want to name it something a little bit, like, can I write custom on the end of it just to kind of separate the two?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead and save and then hit the re-import button. Awesome. So if we click on animation player.
Okay.
By the way, if for some reason switching animations doesn't show you the run animation, like you're not able to play it back, you can go to the animation tree node that we have set up, which is driving animation player. And then if you open the animation trees like blend space editor, you can use the bottom drop down right there and select run, and that will switch it to the run animation. But for us, it just works by switching it in the animation player. So now we have an add track button that we didn't have before.
You can see the difference because like in our other imported assets that we haven't made custom things for, this button disappears. This add track button disappears.
So we'll add a track, and the simplest one we could add would be the audio playback track. This will actually just play sound effects through an audio player node. So go ahead and select that one, and then set the footsteps as our audio player we're going to play through. And if we scroll down to the bottom, we should see... And we
so
don't.
Weird.
And sometimes this happens. So let's save what we have. Go to the project menu in the top and select reload current project. And this will just kind of restart Godot and bring us back. All right, let's try going to freehand run again. And now it's suddenly
Now we have the track.
So.
That's happened a couple of times in this tutorial, and it's no fault. Well, it's a fault to Godot, but other game engines also kind of run into this problem. Sometimes you just gotta like reset the engine. Luckily, we have a button for it that kind of makes you pick up where you left off. But yes, it is annoying. Apologies from Godot, I guess. Not that we work with them yet.
Yeah.
Also, I do think it is hilarious that the imported scene, we did exactly what it says, and the imported scene warning is still there.
Yeah. I know.
Also, Godot, if you could fix that, that'd be great.
All right, so let's pause our animation.
No way. Is it going to do the thing now?
I guess we can't pause the animation.
Well, I wonder if it's because of this.
All right.
Now we can pause it because we went to the animation tree and set our preview as run, which kind of just, I guess, like jimmied the system.
I guess.
Like, it's awake now. Okay, so now I can scroll through my animation.
Yep. And we want to find the spot right before the foot hits the ground. We're doing right before the foot hits the ground because sometimes the sound, has a little bit of a lead in before it actually triggers. But you can always tweak this after you get the sound working and then get it lined up exactly where you want it.
Also, the added track will be at the bottom of the animation. So make sure to scroll all the way to the bottom.
So right click right where your line is. And then you can do insert key. And it's important to note that when you do insert key, it's going to put it at the closest keyframe spot to where your mouse cursor is. And then once you have that selected in the inspector panel, you'll notice we can select what stream we want to play right there.
Mm-hmm.
If we go to quick load, we could just select stone step 1, for example.
Boom. There it is.
And then let's go ahead and slide forward a little bit in our animation right before the other foot goes down and do the same process.
Insert key. And we'll do the other
make sure
step.
to click on the keyframe. Sorry.
And then
it won't select it for you.
Yep, exactly. Thank you. Then grabbing this keyframe, quick load, and we'll do stone step 2.
Awesome. So now if we play,
Woo! He's a real boy.
Yep. Now, immediately, this sound's going to get real old real fast because there's no variation to it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and stop and let's introduce a custom resource here that's going to really help us out. If you click on either of these, we can clear the resource that's currently in there, the resource being the stream. And rather than having to clear it first, you can actually just select one of the other options. So click on the dropdown and select a randomizer.
New AudioStreamRandomizer?
Yep. Okay, so if we click into that, and then you'll see there's a streams section down below. Go ahead and add an element. And now we can quick load stone step 1. Add another element. Stone step 2. Do it again.
Are we getting all of them?
Yeah, there's 4 sounds of each of these.
Oh, hang on, that's grass. Step 3. Step 4.
Awesome. So then what I like to do is under random pitch, let's just do like 1.2. And then under random volume, do something very small, like 0.1 is probably fine. All right, let's go ahead and try playing the animation now and see what happens.
That's basically going to go like 0.2, whatever it's called, like pitch sense or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to go 0.2 up or 0.2 down.
I think so,
and then the volume is going to get louder by 0.1 dB. How do I
apply it to the other keyframe?
So would I delete this one and just bring it over?
No. So what you can do, and you can do this with any resource in Godot, because again, every time we see that like box, I don't think we've really explained it. It's some kind of a data resource. So in the inspector panel, with this keyframe selected, we see randomizer in our stream up there.
Yep.
Click the drop down arrow and then do save as. All right. And then under audio, let's go into footsteps and just name this stone step sounds. Hit save. And now we've saved that to a file. So anytime we want to reuse these stone step sounds and edit them from anywhere, basically, we can just reuse this TRES file that we made. And TRES stands for text resource. Click on the first keyframe with the big audio waveform on it. And then you can do a quick load if you click on that guy, and look for stone step sounds. There you go. And you'll see that it's got exactly what's in the other one. And I will point out, by the way, that if you make any changes here, it makes it across anything using this resource because it's a shared resource.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and try playing the sound effects.
Sounds great.
Awesome. I can't hear it, but I'm glad you can. So that's setting all that up. It's great seeing it all in the editor. Why don't we go ahead and try playing a game, see what that sounds like and feels like.
So we got music too. Sounds so good.
So if you don't want any other sound effects, like footstep sound effects to play, this is probably a great spot. You can stop here. We do have other sound effects that we want to play or other kind of physics materials that we want to be able to run on.
Yep.
So we're going to start setting up the code necessary to make that happen.
So you're referring to, also I'm going to make my window bigger. And if you guys remember, you can go to project settings to make your window bigger. You go to under display window. I want to make mine 1920 by 1080. Or something bigger if I cut in here in a second, because I don't feel like that might be big enough. Okay, it's big. Good.
Great. So to do the next thing of having different sounds based on what material you're running on, we need 2 scripts. So we'll just go ahead and under the scripts folder, we'll right click, create new script. The first one we'll call Footstep Sounds, or Footstepper might be a better name. And that's going to be what plays the footstep sounds based on what you're standing on. And then the next one is going to be called, we'll call it World Material.
World Sound?
Yeah, sure. Let's not
overcomplicate it.
Yeah. We'll start here in World Sound. And we're going to add a new keyword that we've not seen yet, but it's very helpful. So before our extends, we're going to say class underscore name. And this is all lowercase. And we'll call it World Sounds with the Pascal case style. So that's the capital W. Yep. So what this class name does is this whole script file is a class, and we want to be able to reference this script file from other scripts and be able to say, hey, is it this type of script, whatever object I'm looking at. So this just makes it easy to do that. And now what we'll do is we will delete the ready and process. We don't actually need these here. And what we do need is a property, and we need to export it. So we're going to do @export, and we'll do var. And we'll do footstep sounds. And the type of this after the colon is going to be a audio stream. And that basically is the base class I think all of our audio stream resource types use. And so by using that, we can say any audio stream can be used as the footstep sounds for our world sound nodes. Go ahead and just put a little space in between 2 and 3, by the way, like a new line. Awesome. Okay, let's go into our level. We need to find the static body 3D nodes in here because there's one for each different type of piece of the level, I guess.
Yeah, like these guys.
Yeah, we'll go to levels static body 3D first.
Uh-huh.
And then we are going to drag our world sound script onto this node. And that attached it. And you'll notice in our inspector panel, now we have footstep sounds on the right-hand side. So we'll do quick load and we'll find our stone step sounds.
It's funny, I'm like really not talking a lot this episode because I feel like there's almost no questions I have.
Yeah.
Or complexity. Like I feel like this is pretty, so sorry if I sound really quiet this episode. It's just, this one is a follow along one.
Yeah. It's a lot of steps, not a lot of theory.
Yeah.
So let's go down to audio in our file system. And you can also mute the music and the sound effects right now if that is getting annoying. Go into your footsteps folder. And then find your stone step sounds right there, that file. Right click on it and do duplicate. And we'll do wood step sounds instead. And then double click on wood step sounds. And now just swap these sounds out for wood. You can also drag from the left-hand side the file system panel over if that's more helpful.
Like that?
Yep.
Nice. It would be.
So the next step is we need to add our world sounds script onto static body under wood.
Snow. And
Might
grass.
as well do that now, get it out of the way. Yeah.
Dirt.
All right, click on the wood one. And now you can quick load or drag in the wood step sounds T-res. Nope, not that.
Boom. And then I imagine we could go
Duplicate.
into our sounds, into footsteps. Yeah. Duplicate our wood sounds and do like, what it's next? Snow?
Mm-hmm.
Snow.
Or sand.
Yeah.
They're the same sound.
And then I hate sand. And then go to snow. Oh, do you not have snow?
No, I have sand, but snow and sand are going to be the same sound.
Gotcha. Sand. Boom. 3, 4.
And then grass and dirt.
Okay. And then duplicate grass.
This is really boring, so I'm going to fast forward through. All Jack is doing is duplicating the Tress file and renaming it to the respective type like snow, dirt, grass, etc. Then he's just dragging the correct files into the inspector.
Step 1, 2, step 3, step 4, duplicate grass, dirt. Step 1, step 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Yep. Now just click on each of the static bodies.
So it's a stone. That is going to be wood. So it'll be snow, also known as sand.
Grass and dirt, again, unfortunately, I named them backwards in Blender.
Okay.
So you'll actually put the dirt into the grass here.
Okay. Grass. Boom.
So we're going to swap out the audio track node we have and do something a little bit more complicated.
Okay.
Because we want to actually play different sounds based on what surface you're standing on. All right, let's go to the player scene. Click on the animation player node. Go ahead and get him to stop.
Okay. I had to go to the animation tree and set him to idle.
Yep.
Animation player.
So at the bottom here, we actually want to add another track, and we'll leave the footstep track where it is for a second. And what we want is a call method track.
Which, by the way, just means call function.
Yes. There's a reason we call out things like method and function and whatever, because the programmers are going to program and they're going to call things. It's going to be confusing. So we're going to call methods on our footsteps node, which is what we're going to attach the Footstepper script we started, or at least created. And that's the next thing here.
Okay.
Let's open the Footstepper script. And we just need one function called play footstep or something to that effect.
Down here?
You can delete the other two functions. We don't need them.
Okay.
Okay. And go ahead and do the parentheses with the arrow. Return type is void. We don't need to return anything. Tab in. Now, one thing we do need is we need a reference to the player character because they have a bunch of functions and state on them, like is on floor and that sort of stuff, which we need. So on line 2, we're going to do @onReady. var character colon character body 3D. And then we're going to assign get parent. Okay, and it's a function call, so go ahead and do that. There you go. No colon needed. And let's go ahead and put a line in between 1 and 2 just for cleanliness. And instead of extending node, we actually want to extend audio stream player 3D. And the reason we want to extend that is because we're going to set what the stream we're playing is based on what we're standing on, right? So in order to get the stream property that comes with audio stream player 3D, we have to extend the audio stream player 3D node. So now we can go back into our play footstep function that we're setting up. And we're going to say if not character dot is on floor, colon, go on the next line, return. So if we're not on the floor for whatever reason, we're going to stop here. We're not going to keep going in the function. Okay.
Gotcha.
We're going to bail out early. So let's go on to the next line down. And you can even put another line in between. Yeah. So tab in, and we're going to say for, and this is a new keyword. So this is a for loop. We're basically going to do code or repeat a block of code based on some kind of a condition or data set or whatever is on the right-hand side of this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say for I. And the reason we use I is it's the index of. It's kind of a common programmer shorthand. You're going to see this a lot in loops. You can type for index if you want to see it more.
As noobs, I'm going to leave it as index for now. They do this on index. You do it for a few things. And I threw me off for a good second. So it is also I. Like I immediately think like of imaginary numbers. And I'm like, if that's the case, I'm done coding right now.
Yeah.
Because that's where math lost me.
All right. So we're going to do in. And basically, when we say for index in, based on the right, whatever's on the right-hand side changes the values that's going to be on the left. But because the thing on the right is going to be a number, it's going to repeat whatever's under this for loop, however many times that number is. And so we'll do character.
So not a number.
Not a number. Dot get underscore slide underscore collision underscore count.
Okay.
So that's the number of things that we're going to be touching as we do that move and slide function that's in our character controller. So as it's like moving around, it's like, oh, what am I touching? Am I sliding against a wall? Am I sliding against the floor? Am I sliding against whatever? Internally, Godot is tracking all that. And unfortunately, how we get access to those slides is a little verbose. Okay, so now we're going to do another colon because that's going to open the block of code. And we're going to indent. So whatever's indented underneath this is what's going to repeat over and over and over. So we need a variable to hold whatever collision we're checking. So we're going to say var, and then we'll do col. We'll just shorthand collision because it's going to get real old if we have to type collision over and over in a second here. And now we need the colon equal syntax. And we're going to do character dot get slide collision. And it needs the index of whatever slide you want to get information about.
Okay.
or collision you want to get information
So
about.
character
Now this would just be index.
or I.
You have to type index because that's what you named it. So line 9 is saying, hey, how many things did we touch in our last move and slide? And then for each of those, we're going to get the index of each thing we touched. And then we're getting the actual collision data with line 10.
Okay. So this is where
Okay.
you're saying like this should just do this basically.
It'd be nice if it just gave us back a list of all the collisions and we didn't have to do what we're doing here. So on the next line, we're going to need a check because right now, each thing we're colliding with, it might be the floor, but it also could be the wall, like or the ceiling. It could be anything. So we need to figure out which one of these things is the actual floor. And there's nothing that's just saying, hey, I'm the floor. So we need to do a little bit of math to check something called normals, which again is a direction that's been normalized. And whatever floor collider we're standing on, Godot actually tells us that. They'll tell us the normal of whatever Godot is considering the floor, which is usually just going to be pointing straight up or somewhere close to straight up. So we'll do if col, so our collision, dot get normal. And we don't have to give it a collision index. We'll just leave that empty. And we want to see if it's equal to the normal of our floor. And now we'll do character dot get floor normal. Yep, that one.
Boom.
All right, colon. So we'll go inside this block and we'll do some more code. So we now know that whatever this is the floor. And we're going to now actually get the collider object because this COL is just the collision data. It's not actually the thing we're colliding with. So we're going to do var collider colon equal col, so the collision data, dot get collider. Now on the next line,
This is the part that just completely detaches people from like learning code.
I know.
You can feel the uncoupling as this tutorial continues.
We just lose everybody at this point in the video.
Yeah.
But this is the juicy part. This is what makes it work.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not juicy.
Okay, so we need to dedent just one level. So just go back one. If.
By the way, I hate that. Why do we dedent if every time we've been using colon, we've been denting in?
Well, you just had one extra one.
Oh, this is not real?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That shouldn't be there. Okay. I see.
That makes more sense.
Now we need one more. This is the last if, I promise.
Uh-huh.
We're almost there. If collider is, so that is keyword, and that's basically checking if it's, a certain type.
I thought that is that.
That's equal to. Is checking if the type of the thing on the left is the type on the right hand side.
Okay. So it's like if it's a number, if it's an integer, a float or something like that.
Yes.
But I guarantee it's not going to be a type. It's going to be like character dot.
No, it'll be a type.
Wall.
Remember how we did class name world sounds?
Yeah.
So now you're just going to do world sounds spelled in Pascal case.
But I am kind of right there. I knew it wasn't going to be like the type. It's like the
Well, world sounds is
word.
the type.
Yeah, exactly.
So now do colon, and we'll go in under that. Now we'll do var info, colon equals, collider as world sounds. And basically this is because GD script, for whatever reason, doesn't say, hey, you already checked the collider is this thing, so I'm going to think it's that thing. We have to actually put it into a new variable and say, you are this thing now. As is just another way of doing that. Yeah.
So what is as?
As is a casting keyword.
I hate that I have to like relearn English for code sometimes. It's like, what is the? It's like, I don't even know how to explain that.
The other option is you could actually just do var info colon world sounds and then assign collider. Get rid of the equal sign. So do world sounds and then do an equal sign collider. There you go.
What are you throwing as in there for?
It's just another way of doing this operation.
I kind of like the ones that are more English, but every time we've used one, like for, I'm like, forgive me. I'm stuck in a hole now mentally.
All right. So on the next line, we're going to assign the footstep sound stream from our world sounds. So we'll just do stream. And that's a property that's on this class because it extends audio stream player 3D. So we'll do equal sign. And then we're going to do info dot footstep sounds. 2 more lines to go.
No way.
Right now, even after we find the sound we want to set our stream to, it's going to keep running this loop. We don't want it to do that. We want it to say, hey, you found the sound, you assigned it, awesome, you're done. Don't waste processing power if you're done. So we don't want to do a return. We want to use a keyword called break, and that breaks out of the loop, whatever loop we're ultimately under. So the loop on line 9, we broke out of it. And now whatever code comes after the loop will run. So dedent all the way back to the same level
as
the floor. Yep, you got it. And we're going to call play. And that's just the play function for this footstep node. So save that script.
And I don't do a colon here because it doesn't open up text. It's funny that we're this far in and I'm still catching stuff like that. Like, okay, you dent in if there's a colon above it.
At the end of the line. Yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually you hit like usually probably a pink word and then that sends you back. Like you're out of the thing now.
Yeah. The pink keywords are control flow keywords, meaning they change the flow of where the code's going next.
So what does break do rather than return?
Break stops all the code inside this loop after that point's called, but it doesn't stop the whole function. It's a little heady, I know. The final step here is we just need to add the call method keyframes in our animation player to trigger our sound effects.
Okay, so you're saying I can go back to like 3D, and now we're doing the call method.
So find the footstep keyframes, and just right under there on the call method track, you'll insert a key, and now you can select your... Sorry, one thing we forgot to do. We forgot to put the Footstepper class or script on the Footsteps node. So just drag the Footstepper script up onto it.
Onto Footsteps?
Yep. Now, if we insert a key, you'll see there's play footsteps at the very top.
Void play footstep?
Mm-hmm.
Use that?
Yep. And then just find the second keyframe, do the same thing. And then you can delete the audio track. Go ahead and save, and then you need to enable your audio buses that you muted.
Yep.
And by the way, you won't hear the sounds in editor now, I don't think.
Interesting.
You're only going to hear them in the game.
Okay, because it's dependent on, now it's not on my foot, it's dependent on what I'm on. Good. Look at that. Kind of like Dirt's sound. Grass is pretty harsh. It's like...
Yeah. I'm fixing it up for the final assets. And that's it.
Oh, thank God. I mean, awesome. Thank you again, Celios, for the tracks. It sounds so freaking good. And it did loop, I'm pretty sure. And that's game design.